And welcome and thank you for joining us for the second half hour of The Factor Uncensored. We have a follow-up tonight. We report we brought you last week. The group called Carbon Nation, its followers and their leader, Eligio Bishop, a.k.a. Nature Boy. He has been sentenced to life in prison after prosecutors say he raped a former group member as she tried to escape. Nature Boy still has lots of supporters on the outside, people who say they are his family. They wanted a chance to defend him. So I gave them that opportunity here on The Factor Uncensored, and that's what we do, give both sides. Let's take a look. And joining us on The Factor Uncensored, we have Nature Boy's family members who are here. We have with us Tanisha, Kayla, and Portia. Glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. You all have been following all of the media coverage. You saw the segment on The Factor Uncensored, and you guys said you wanted to clear up some misinformation out there. So, Portia, let's begin with you. When you talk about, and you hear people talk about Nature Boy and the conviction, and now the time that he will be spending behind bars life, what are your thoughts on that? And what's most concerning that's out there that bothers you as a family member?
Okay, so first I did want to start off by addressing a couple of topics, because I did watch, the news feed that you did previously, and there was a lot of misinformation and misrepresentation of who Eligio Bishop is and who we are. And so I do want to clear a lot of that up, because a lot of things were brought up saying that he was, getting money from people and spending money recklessly. You guys mentioned STDs. You guys mentioned the passing of Mama Dia. And I do want to...
And real quick, I'm going to let you finish, but just so you know, for the record, all of that came from the court case and the allegations made by prosecutors. But go ahead. Yeah.
I know, I was there. So I know that a lot of those allegations weren't even intertwined into the court case. See, what happened is that there's a lot of distraction around what really happened on March 24th, 2022, because us three...
And for those following us and listening, March 24th, what happened then?
So I'm not going to go into the particulars because we are still in the process of appeal. But we're mainly coming on here to exonerate his name and to shed light on the maliciousness of this prosecution. Yeah. There was a lot of things that were done that were not in justice or spirit of the law. There were a lot of things that were done underhandedly by a lot of people who, said that they were lying about this whole thing in the first place. Yeah. And so a lot of these things are coming from people who have hurt feelings. Hurt feelings because they didn't get what they wanted. And so a lot of stuff starts surfacing. $300,000. I wanted to get into that because before he set out and before that money was given to him, he already had a successful barbershop. It was running. So before he started his journey, he gave that away to one of the barber members that was there, and she paid, and she gave him money weekly. So he always had his own money. He always had, and so he had enough that what we had created what was called a pot, which was a collective pool of resources. What he didn't use, he always gave away. There was a lot of people who came, they didn't have money. You have to think, traveling over Central America, sometimes 25 people with them not having money. We have to get over borders. We have to pay tolls, gas, food, living. And so he was mostly putting out of pocket that expenses for a lot of people, and he was paying for them to eat. He was paying for the shelter. I know back in 2021, we were on doing live entertainment on Bigo, where he was making at least $20,000 a month. And so there was one of the members who said that they gave $3,000 check a month, but that only partially covered expenses. And so it was Eligio Bishop that mostly covered everything for everyone. And these people came to him with problems. You guys mentioned STDs. These people were already documented to have these afflictions before they came.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of defamation of character. There's a lot of because of the recent trial, new people are starting to look up Eligio Bishop. They're starting to be curious about the situation. And I feel like there's been so much false information and so much defamation of character from our online hate groups that that's the first thing that people resort to. But there's a lot of intricate details that many are missing. And with all of these news channels just putting out information to create a bias for people and only getting one side of the story to get, I guess, views and just say all of these allegations, we just wanted to clear some of it up, but also keep the point of the malicious prosecution. Look at the injustices of that trial. If you go to our website, natureboytv.com, if you go to our library section, you will see all of the well put together videos that we made to show the corruption throughout his case. And we really want that to be the focus, because I feel like people are getting distracted by his character. People are getting distracted by their personal feelings about him. And I feel like that's why he was convicted, because of people's personal feelings.
Now, if you're completely lost, make sure you Google Nature Boy on social media and check it out, and then come back here to The Factor and continue to watch this interview to get their side. What we wanted to do was get their side tonight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the conversation. Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. The story of Nature Boy and what prosecutors call his cult is a huge story trending right now on social media. If you want to look it up, Google it. He's currently serving a life sentence after being found guilty of multiple charges, including false imprisonment, rape, and revenge porn. There has been speculation about how other members of his group, KRIV Nation, have been subjected to verbal, emotional, and physical abuse. Tonight, I spoke with his chosen family and individuals who wanted to defend him. I asked them how were they really treated, and here's what they had to say. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're talking to family members of Nature Boy Eligio Bishop. We have with us Portia, Kayla, and Tanisha. And Kayla, you were last talking. You're saying that many people put out false information about him, and a lot of false information got into the trial. When people describe him as a master manipulator, what would you say to that, Kayla?
Can I please say something to that?
Go ahead.
I think that it is very unfair and unjust that people are calling him that and trying to place him in the same category as Jim Jones or Charles Manson. He did not brutally murder anyone. No, he didn't order anybody to murder anyone in their homes. And so Jim Jones, he was convicted of killing 918 people. 200 of them were children. See, Eligio Bishop...
And really quick, he killed himself before anybody could convict him.
Exactly. Yeah. And so the comparison is just really unfair to him, because that's nowhere near what is going on. These people entered his life, his personal life. This was a journey that he set for himself. These are ways of living that he himself, he sets high standards for himself, and he himself lives like this. There was instances where he told people, please don't do what I'm doing, because I live a different way that most people can't handle.
Yeah, and I feel like the Black man, especially if he has a mission or decides to do something out of what contemporary society can't put in a box, and they do have a lot of influence over people and people don't understand it. You know, people's first thing is to demonize it. Their first thing is to just look what's on the surface and then you know, continue to spread the false propaganda that's already been publicized, instead of looking deeper, instead of coming to the people who actually can give you what's really going on. And you know,
And coming to the people, how did he treat you guys? For those who may think you guys were under his control, what was life really like for you living with Nature Boy?
well, you know, the thing is, everything is on our website. If you go to natureboytv.com, you will see our lifestyle. You will, you know, Nature Boy TV, you will see all the beautiful things that we've done. And people all just, when you have a big light, people want to go to the shadow and make the shadow bigger than the light. And, you know, everybody has, and nobody's perfect. You know, nobody's perfect. So we can't just look at the imperfections of someone and just blow that up and paint them as that. We have to actually look at the situation in its entirety. And I feel like if people want to get to know more, you know, just go to our website.
Tanisha, we haven't heard from you tonight. Your thoughts on this and how you feel about Nature Boy, for those who are wondering, how important was he to you? Or is to you? Not was, he's still alive. Is to you?
I feel that this is very disheartening, and it hurts that people are defaming Eligio Bishop's character and they don't have the full story about who he is. So he's very misunderstood. And that hurts because he's my family member and I love him very much. And I think about him all the time because that's my family. And, you know, I know him personally. I know him for myself. I've got to know who he is for myself. The people online, they take bits and pieces of what he say and blow up that rather than get to know him personally for themselves. So this is very disheartening, and it's very sad that, you know, our people, our melanated people are making a joke out of this.
Yeah.
A man getting sentenced to life plus 10 years without parole. I personally think that is sad. That people don't have a heart and that people don't see the injustice in this case. So that's what I have to say.
And when we come back, we'll let you give your final words, and we'll continue to have this conversation with you, family members of Nature Boy. We'll be right back here on The Factor Uncensored. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We continue our conversation with the chosen family members of Nature Boy, a.k.a. Eligio Bishop. It's been more than a week since he received a life sentence for raping a former member of his group. Tonight, his supporters and chosen family members continue to speak out in his defense. And our guests are back here on The Factor Uncensored. We're talking to family members of Nature Boy, and joining us now is Brandon, another family member and manager. So ladies, before we wrap up here in the next 3 minutes, what else important do you guys want to get out there to the public?
I just want everybody to know that if they choose to know more about him, to just simply go to our website, natureboytv.com. He explains everything so perfectly. And I think that it's a shame that people take what he says out of context and clip certain minutes and make that a big thing. But if you really want to get to know a person, just go deeper than what the surface says.
Yeah.
Brandon, let's hear from you as a family member as well. What do you want to get out to the public?
I pretty much want to say that, you know, when it comes down to it, the burden of proof in America is not based on the fact that just because you don't like somebody, you know, you shouldn't be able to violate their rights to due process. And I know a lot of people don't like Nature Boy because of some of the stuff they may have heard, but in this situation, I wish you guys please set that to the side and focus on March 24th, 2022, because that's the main thing. When everybody understands the facts associated with this case, you guys will be blatantly violated. And then the media pushes out certain things without even knowing the truth of what actually occurred on the date. So it's like, and media is just echoing the injustices in the court system. Because, once you see somebody that's been convicted by 12 and they can be sentenced to 30 years, doesn't mean that they're actually innocent. As we see all the time, they end up getting out of jail. And it's more to this, just like the situation, it's way more to the story. So.
And you guys are waiting and hoping, ladies as well, for an appeal. You're going to appeal this case, right?
Yes. It's just it's a shame, like, for you to get this much. It's excessive sentencing for a crime that was not violent. There was no brutality. It was nothing, and it was not even proved beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
So just to keep in mind, that is the leading cause of Black men getting put into the prison industrial complex.
Yeah.
Is false testimonies and false accusations.
Yes.
And it's really sad to say, and I know a lot of people might not like what I'm about to say, but Black women are being used as a catalyst to put a lot of Black men away behind bars.
Yes.
Especially when they're angry.
Yep. And really quick, go ahead, Brandon.
I was gonna say, I just gotta echo what they're saying. Like, it's so much more to this process when it comes down, even like the evidence that was submitted to the court. You allow videos of Nature Boy to be submitted into the court, but you didn't allow videos of her to be submitted to the court when she spoke to the police. You allow videos of Nature Boy of what he was on social media, but you didn't allow videos of her and what she said on social media. And it's just like the bias. It's supposed to be good for the goose, good for the gander. And that's just a little short, quick clip of biases right there within the justice system. So.
All right. We want to thank you all for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored, giving your side of the story. And once again, a really quick, Portia, for those who want to know more about you guys, you have a website, right?
Yes. Please go to natureboytv.com. We have everything laid out perfectly there. We also have more if you want to know about the malicious prosecution. Kayla put together malicious prosecution 1 and 2, and it's very detailed.
All right. We want to thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. We appreciate your time tonight.